Welcome along to round 7 and 8 of the Formula Golf 1000 Championship for 2015 and 16. We're at the beautiful Dubai Autodrome on the Grand Prix circuit. Qualifying has been done on the 5.4 kilometre long Grand Prix configuration. Kato Poulsen and Mashabal Hajala, Gulsen Abduliev, Giulio Peroni and Omar Gazaz taking the start in race number 1. 10 laps on board with Omar Gazaz at the moment as they head down to the start line, and the flags waved, and a really bad start there for Gulsen Abduliev as he gets swamped as Omar Gazaz makes their way down to turn number 1. 16 turns on the Grand Prix configuration of Dubai Autodrome, and we're in the beautiful little Suzuki GSXR powered Formula Golf 1000s. Mashabal Hajala and Kato Poulsen continue their battle from previous rounds as they head up around turn 3 and 4. Sequential gearbox in the FG1000s, taking their hand off the wheel to move up and down the gears. And as Gulsen starts to make his way through the field after that rather horrendous start. It's his first time out racing at Dubai Autodrome and in the FG1000s. And making his way back up through the field as the leaders head off down the very long back straight. Working their way up through the gearbox. Quite cool this morning. The tyres are quite cold. Difficult to get grip. As they head down into turn 10. The hardest braking corner on the circuit. From 6th gear to 2nd. And as Gulsen works his way up through turn 11. Heading up to the management building at turn 12. Leaders just starting to break away a little bit. Now they're out of 12 heading into turn 13. This is a flat out left-hander. It brings them into the bowl complex at turn 14. And as the track slopes upward and away, then we climb the little hill into 15. Accelerate down towards turn 16, the final corner that will lead them back onto the start-finish straight as our leaders start lap number 2. Working up towards around 230 kilometres an hour before they get to the braking zone in turn 1. And just past the 100 metre board, they step very hard on the brakes. Then this little kink left in turn 2. And flat out through the 3-4 complex using all the aero and grip from the hand-clip tyres. And the door left wide open for Gulsen up the inside. And Omar's got a very good watching brief over the action happening in front of him. And Giulio Peroni being dispatched, and Omar Gazaz out in pursuit of Giulio now as Gulsen Abduliev heads off in pursuit of Kato Poulsen and Mashabal Hajala. On board with Giulio now as he heads down into the braking zone of turn 10. You can see his helmet getting thrown forward under the braking, and just ran a little bit deep under brakes. Short shifts to stop the back end spinning up as they come around turn 11. Now it's Omar Gazaz right up on the back of Giulio Peroni as they head down out of turn 12. Just getting tucked nicely into the slipstream. And door left open there, and a nice move by Omar Gazaz up the inside. Just holds the car out mid-track. Nowhere for Giulio to go, and he has to secede the position. And that puts him back into a 6th spot as he takes a big bite of the rumble strip on the exit of turn 15. Not done with yet though, closed up nicely under brakes into 16. Our current leader, Kato Poulsen, fresh off wins down at the Asmarina circuit in the previous round as we watch him negotiate turn 1. And now we're with him on the final lap of round number 7 for the Formula Golf 1000 as he brings the car out through turn 15. Pretty much untroubled through this race on a very cold day here at Dubai Autodrome. And as he heads down towards the checkered flag, and that pumps the fist in the air, and Kato Poulsen takes the win in round number 7. And Mashabal Hojala in second position, who come back from Gulison Abduliev to pick up third. Omar Gazaz in fourth, and Giulio Peroni in fifth. That's how they're going to start race number 2, and we're on board with them now, on board with Omar and our two leaders, Kato and Masha, side by side. And I think we're working our way up towards a 4-way side-by-side battle heading down to turn 1. And Mash comes into contact with Kato. Mash spins. Kato keeps going. Giulio Peroni's got a great view of all of that, as unfortunately for Mashabal Hojala, he's come to a stop, stranded on the ribbon strip. And Omar Gazaz is pretty much thanking his lucky stars that everybody got through that first corner. We could have lost 4 cars there, and unfortunately it was Mashabal Hojala and Kato Poulsen who were really struggling. Gulison Abduliev out in the lead. You can see that broken wing on the front of Kato Poulsen's FG1000. As he pulls over mid-track, he knows that Giulio Peroni is coming up alongside him, and he knows he can't brake where Giulio could brake, as he has no downforce on the front end of the car and just rolls off the throttle to allow Giulio through, who runs very deep under brakes into turn 10, and heads up around turn 11. And the safety car has been called due to Mashabal Hojala's car being stranded on just before the apex of turn 1. And we're on board with our race leader heading down behind the Porsche Panamera safety car as they recover Mashabal Hojala's car. The Golf Sport team going to work to change the front nose cone of Kato's car, safety car, into pit lane. And it's Gulison Abduliev leading from Omar Gazaz and Giulio Peroni. Kato Poulsen still in the pit lane. We're looking for the green flag. The guys still warming their tyres up. And green flag, and Omar gets a fantastic start. I think Gulison was just almost to the flag point before the green came out, and just caught him a little bit off guard. Locks the back brakes up. Tyres are still very cold after those couple of laps under safety car. They're fighting with the steering wheel. See a little bit of graining on his front right. It means the tyre's been pushing across the surface, but they're not hot enough to grip the surface. They're starting to tear the top layer up as Omar gets a little bit sideways on the exit of turn 4 and pushes wide. On 5, Gulison thought about a look up the inside there, but probably thought very wisely that didn't have enough front tyre temperature to be able to jump on the brakes. Kato Poulsen exiting pit lane, 4.5 minutes in pit lane to get the nose changed. Some bent mounts in there, and that cost him a lap. And now Gulison Abduliev halfway down the back straight is getting past Omar Gazaz, and as he brings it into turn 10, and now it's up to Omar. Can he fight back? We're almost at half race distance. 10 laps for this round number 8. We've moved up to 7 laps and the battle continues on, and Gulison getting very ragged there. And Omar still within striking distance as they head into the 8-9 complex. Different lines from different drivers. This is the first race weekend Gulison Abduliev has had at Dubai Autodrome, and doing very well indeed, leading round number 8. Starting to weave across the straights. This is going to come under the attention of the clerk of the course. You're only allowed to make one move off the racing line, one move back onto the racing line. And Omar has a look up the inside, but just can't quite get enough of the car past. And the rules are fairly succinct in regards to how many times you can move across to cover your line. And as Gulasena heads up towards turn 12, and down towards the flat out turn 13, and like I say, still right in his rear vision mirrors as he takes a reasonably narrow line into turn 14. Just battling a little bit with rear end grip as we get towards the end of this 10-lap race. Omar takes a big hunk of curb on the exit of 15. Gulasena moves into the defensive mode into mid-track to block the overtake, and then moves out into centre track, then back over to the left-hand side of the circuit, then back out into centre track, and basically making too many moves. And the clerk of the course had a brief chat with him after the race, just to let him know that one move off the racing line, one move back onto the racing line, and you'll consider yourself well enough done. But lap 10, Gulasena heading down towards the checkered flag and takes the win in round number 8. Omar Gazaz in second, Giulio Peroni in third, Kato Poulsen fourth, and unfortunate DNF from Masha Hajala. Thanks very much to Golf Oils, Campos Racing and Towers Rotana. We'll see you next time when we go racing with Formula Golf 1000.